name's Jamie. I'm 25 years old and I was living in the city for numerous years, and that's where I started using heroin. And I'm currently living back in the southeast of Victoria on my parents' property, and I just sort of moved back there to get away from the city and the drugs and get some stability back into my life and hopefully find some work. Well, I first went onto the methadone program because I just wanted to get off the gear, and I was finding it really hard, almost impossible to get off just by yourself. And I was talking to a mate and he mentioned his Butte program and how it was working for him, and I thought that sounds good. Plus I got to admit it is cheaper than using heroin. Well, I suppose one of the biggest positives is that you don't have to go out and get on all the time. That's a huge bonus. And subsequently you don't have to hang around with people that you don't really want to be hanging around with, like dealers and other users that are just going to keep that cycle going. Butte's pretty good because it actually makes it tough to do heroin when you're using it. It gives you a bit of breathing space, a bit of stability. You know, you can get some plans in operation and even get back to work. You don't have to worry about where your next hit's coming from, and you know it's always going to be a clean metered dose. You're not going to overdose and it's not going to be a dirty hit. Don't have to use needles, and in fact it's actually a bit of a hassle to shoot up methadone, so that's a good thing. Well, if I wasn't on a program, I definitely wouldn't be working, and chances are I'd probably have ended up in jail. I mean, I'm only 25 years old, and I just got the feeling that while I was using, I really wasn't living my life. And I found that methadone is available even in the most remote country areas, and I can get methadone, I can get my dose, and I can maintain a normal life. I suppose as a result, I'm feeling a lot more secure and comfortable in my life about the things that I do. I'm able to get up, I've got a renewed energy for life. I really, really want to get into it and get back to work. And I don't have that awful, sick, wasted, every muscle in my body aching feeling when I get up. And that's all really positive stuff. The negatives, well, methadone in the bush. I mean, it's just so time consuming and tedious. I live 30 kilometres away from the nearest chemist that does this service, and I don't have a driver's licence at the moment. So ultimately I've got to rely on my mum and dad to drive in and out every day. And I mean, they're busy enough as it is, you know, they're trying to run a farm, and I'm sure they don't need to be doing that, but they do, and I appreciate it. Yeah, I also have to try and not be noticed. It's actually really difficult in a country town not to be noticed going in and out of a chemist every day, and I suppose living in a small community like this, there is a real stigma attached to that. Also, when I was under 19 years, I was getting it for free, and that was great, but as soon as I turned 19, they expect you to pay for it. And I mean, I was still on the same income, and I then had to fork out for the methadone or the Butte, which made economic decisions a bit more difficult to make. It's important for people to know that they've really got to manage their own program. If they get into the program, you can't expect the doctors and the chemists to be keeping your paperwork together and maintaining your program for you. It's like keeping a current script at the chemist. If you don't do it yourself, it's not going to be there. And what's more, scripts can get lost, doctors can go away for a couple of weeks. If you don't have your dose, then you're in trouble and you're back open to whatever's out there, out and about. And some chemists, they know their stuff, but they may not know enough about this type of medication. And subsequently that can be a bit of a problem if you're trying to communicate with a regional chemist. You've really got to be on the ball and be keeping to your business. And there's just not enough takeaway doses. People aren't trusted in this day and age by the people that prescribe, and that can be a real hassle. To get takeaways makes life a lot more easy, and you just got that sense of continuance. You know, you can get on with your daily activity without having to go all the way into town. So there's just not enough takeaway doses, and it's a pity because that makes life really hard. But I've got to say, if you've got the opportunity of going to the country, get away from the city, get away from all the drugs, I say go for it. Because in reality, it's not that hard, and it just keeps getting easier as time goes by, and I firmly believe that it will work.